You are about to step into a day that will demand decisions, emotional control, focus, and strength. And whether you realize it or not, something or someone will shape the direction of those demands. Days are never neutral. They are guided, influenced, and framed by the authority you allow to lead them. If you begin this day without intention, without awareness, without God, you do not remain free. You become reactive. You respond to pressure instead of walking in purpose. Most people think their problems start later in the day. They are wrong. What unravels in the afternoon is usually decided in the first moments of the morning. Anxiety does not appear suddenly. Confusion does not arrive without permission. A restless heart is often the result of a misaligned beginning. The first agreement you make today will define the inner climate of everything that follows. An agreement does not require words. It only requires silence where guidance was needed. There is a reason your mind feels crowded before the day even starts. There is a reason peace feels distant even before the first task. When God is postponed, other voices rush in. Logic takes over without wisdom. Emotion leads without discernment. Urgency replaces direction. You may still move, but you no longer advance with clarity. This is not about being religious. This is about understanding order. In every system, the first principle governs the rest. Prayer at the beginning of the day is not a ritual. It is a decision about leadership. It is the moment you choose who sets the pace, who defines the tone, who carries authority over your thoughts, your reactions, and your steps. When God is not first, He becomes an option. And when He becomes an option, pressure becomes your guide. Do not underestimate this moment. Right now, before the day claims your attention, you are standing at a threshold. What you allow here will echo through every conversation, every challenge, every choice. Stay present. What comes next will not just explain why this matters. It will show you what has been missing. There is a law at work every morning, whether you acknowledge it or not. The first voice you agree with sets the direction of your inner world. Agreement does not always sound like belief. Sometimes it sounds like distraction. Sometimes it feels like scrolling, rushing, replaying yesterday, or anticipating problems that have not happened yet. But the moment your mind submits to a voice, that voice gains influence. Your morning is not empty space. It is contested territory. Thoughts do not arrive randomly, they knock. And the first one you open the door to begins arranging the furniture of your mind. This is why some days feel heavy before they even begin. You did not choose peace early enough, so noise chose you. You did not establish direction, so urgency stepped in and took command. God does not force His way into the beginning of your day. He waits to be invited. And when He is not invited, other authorities fill the gap. Logic without wisdom starts making decisions. Emotion without discernment begins to lead. You start reacting instead of governing yourself. This is not weakness. It is design. Every system follows its first principle. When you begin the day with God, you are not escaping reality. You are ordering it. You are saying that clarity comes before speed, that truth comes before pressure, that direction matters more than demand. This single choice shifts everything that follows. And now that you see it, you cannot unsee it. What comes next will explain why your days often feel heavier than they should. You may have noticed that some days feel exhausting before anything truly difficult happens. The body wakes up, but the spirit feels delayed. Focus is fragile, patience is thin, and even simple tasks carry an unusual weight. This is not always the result of overwork or lack of sleep. Often, it is the consequence of starting the day internally divided. When the mind moves ahead without alignment, it pulls the rest of you out of order. You think faster than you discern. You act quicker than you understand. Small irritations feel personal. Delays feel threatening. You are not responding to what is happening. You are responding to what you fear might happen. This is how a day becomes heavy without being full. Many people pray only when pressure appears. But by then, the tone of the day has already been set. The nervous system is already leading. The emotions are already steering. You are asking for peace after allowing unrest to define the rhythm. God still listens, but the cost of realignment is higher because resistance has already formed. Beginning the day with God prevents this fracture. It brings the inner world into agreement before the outer world demands anything. Peace does not remove challenges, but it changes how you meet them. You stop carrying imagined futures and unresolved yesterdays into moments that require presence. This is not about feeling spiritual. It is about becoming whole before you move. If this resonates, it is because you have felt this weight before, and understanding it opens the door to a different way of beginning. What comes next will show how authority shifts when God is placed in front of the day instead of somewhere inside it. There is a difference between inviting God into your day and allowing God to go before you. Many people ask God to walk with them while they continue leading themselves. They want support, not surrender. But spiritual authority is established by position, not intention. Whoever goes first determines the direction. When God goes before you, something subtle but powerful changes. You stop bracing for impact. You stop scanning the day for threats. You are no longer trying to control outcomes before they happen. Direction replaces anxiety. Discernment replaces impulse. You begin to move with awareness instead of defense. This does not mean the day becomes easier. It means you stop wasting energy fighting imagined battles. When God is in front, your role shifts. You observe more. You react less. You choose your words with clarity. You sense when to speak and when to remain silent. This is not passivity. It is governed strength. Many mistakes are not moral failures. They are positioning failures. God was present, but he was not leading. And presence without leadership does not produce peace. Leadership does. When you consciously place God ahead of your plans, you are not giving up control. You are aligning with wisdom that sees further than you can. This shift is not emotional, it is deliberate. And once you experience it, you recognize when it is missing. What comes next will guide you into the moment where this positioning becomes real, not just understood. Before action, there must be stillness. Not the stillness of inactivity, but the stillness of attention. Most people move through their mornings fragmented, doing many things while being present in none. The body is busy, but the mind is scattered. The spirit is unheard because it is never given space to speak. Without stillness, prayer becomes rushed words instead of alignment. Stillness is not wasted time. It is where authority settles. When you pause on purpose, you interrupt the automatic patterns that usually run your day. You stop being pulled by habit and begin to choose direction. This is where awareness sharpens. You notice what you are carrying that does not belong to today. You recognize tensions you accepted as normal. You allow order to return before movement begins. God speaks most clearly when urgency steps aside. Not because he was silent before, but because you were unavailable. Stillness removes the internal noise that competes with wisdom. It creates a space where your will can realign without pressure. This is why even a brief moment of intentional pause can reset an entire day. This pause is the doorway. What follows is not theory, it is not explanation. It is the moment where alignment becomes prayer, and prayer becomes direction. Stay here. What comes next is where everything you have understood so far is put into motion. Now the alignment becomes spoken. Prayer at this moment is not about listing needs. It is about placing the will in its proper position. You are not negotiating with God. You are agreeing with him. You begin by releasing the need to control outcomes, because control is often just fear wearing the mask of responsibility. When the will loosens its grip, clarity has room to enter. You place the day itself before God. Not the events, not the tasks, but the direction. You acknowledge that choices will be required, conversations will carry weight, and moments will demand discernment. Instead of asking God to fix what might go wrong, You ask Him to govern what you have not yet seen. This shifts prayer from reaction to preparation. Discernment becomes the focus. You are not asking for signs. You are asking for sensitivity. The ability to recognize when to move forward and when to wait. When to speak and when silence will protect more than words. This kind of prayer trains awareness. It does not remove responsibility. It refines it. As alignment deepens, you place your interactions under covering. People carry pressure, history, and emotion into your space. Without grounding, their unrest becomes yours. With God governing your inner posture, you remain steady. You do not absorb what was never meant to belong to you. This prayer does not end the day. It establishes it, and once it is set, something shifts. What comes next is not a request. It is a declaration that seals what has been aligned. When alignment is established, words take on a different weight. This is where you stop asking and begin declaring, not declaring outcomes you desire, but declaring truths that govern how you will move through the day. Declarations are not wishes, they are boundaries. They define what is allowed to lead you and what is not. You declare peace before pressure has the chance to speak, not because pressure will not come, but because it will not decide your posture. You declare clarity before confusion tries to take control. You declare obedience before opportunity tests your motives. These declarations do not change external events. They change your internal authority. This is where many people feel a shift without knowing why. The day does not suddenly slow down, but you do. You are no longer chasing stability, you are carrying it. This changes how challenges land. They no longer shake your foundation, they reveal it. Declarations seal alignment because they engage responsibility. You are not waiting for God to move while remaining passive. You are cooperating with the order that has been set. Faith becomes active, not emotional. It expresses itself through restraint, focus, and intentional choice. What remains now is a final understanding, one that reframes expectations and protects you from disappointment when the day does not unfold gently. This closing truth is what allows you to walk forward without confusion or resentment. Finally, understand this clearly. Beginning the day with God is not a guarantee of comfort. It is a guarantee of direction. Many people become discouraged because they confuse God's presence with ease. When resistance appears, they assume something went wrong. In truth, resistance often confirms that you are moving with purpose instead of drifting. A day led by God may still confront you, challenge you, and stretch you. The difference is that confusion no longer defines the experience. You know why you are standing where you are. You know when to persist and when to release. You stop measuring the day by how smooth it feels and start measuring it by how aligned you remain. This understanding protects your peace. When things do not unfold as planned, you do not internalize failure, you recognize redirection. When doors close, you do not rush to force them open. You remain attentive. Direction keeps you steady when comfort is absent, and steadiness is what carries you through. This is why the beginning matters so much. Not because it removes difficulty, but because it anchors you before difficulty speaks. When God goes first, you are never lost. Even when the path is unclear. You are guided, not rushed, grounded, not reactive. And that is what truly changes everything. Stay with this posture as you step forward. Do not rush away from what has just been aligned. Carry it into the next hour, the next conversation, the next decision. Let this day unfold without hurry, without internal noise, without the need to prove anything. Direction has already been set. If this moment grounded you, return to it again. Make it your beginning, not just today, but every time the weight feels familiar. A life does not change through intensity. It changes through order, repeated daily, with intention. Remain aware, remain aligned, and let God continue to go before you. What you practiced here is not meant to be consumed once and forgotten. It is meant to become familiar. Tomorrow will offer the same choice it always does: to rush into responsibility led by urgency, or to step forward guided by awareness. The difference will not be circumstances. It will be whether you remember who goes first. You do not need a new method each morning. You need consistency and order. When alignment becomes habitual, peace becomes stable. You begin to recognize faster when something is off. You return to center without drama. This is maturity. Quiet, grounded, resilient. Carry this posture into tomorrow. Let it meet you again at the beginning. And when it does, you will notice that the day no longer feels like something to survive, but something to steward. What gives power to this moment is not emotion, but decision. A quiet commitment made in advance changes how tomorrow begins. Not a promise driven by discipline alone, but an agreement rooted in understanding. You now know what happens when order is ignored and what shifts when alignment comes first. Each morning will test this commitment in subtle ways. Distraction will feel urgent. Responsibility will feel immediate. The temptation will not be to reject God, but to postpone Him. This is where awareness matters. You do not need long words. You need presence. A brief pause. A realignment. A reminder of who leads. When this becomes your rhythm, something deep stabilizes. You stop depending on motivation to feel grounded. You stop measuring your days by emotion. You walk with consistency because your beginning is no longer accidental. It is chosen. Let this be your standard. Not perfection, but order. Not intensity, but faithfulness. Begin again tomorrow with the same clarity, and each time you do, you will notice that life does not grow quieter, but you grow steadier within it. What sustains this path is not intensity, but continuity. One aligned morning does not redefine a life. Repeated alignment does. Each day you begin with awareness. You reinforce an internal order that does not collapse under pressure. You stop relying on emotional momentum and start moving from conviction. Over time, this changes how you see yourself. You become less reactive, less scattered, less driven by what demands attention the loudest. You begin to recognize when something is trying to lead you that should not. You regain the ability to choose your pace, your words, your responses. This is not withdrawal from life. It is mastery of engagement. God leading your day does not make you passive. It makes you precise. You waste less energy. You enter fewer unnecessary conflicts. You invest your strength where it matters. This is how wisdom expresses itself in daily life. Quietly, consistently, without spectacle. Carry this forward. Let it shape your mornings until it shapes your character, not as an obligation, but as a reference point you return to. Alignment is not a moment you remember. It is a posture you practice. As this posture settles in, something quiet begins to operate beneath the surface. You no longer feel the need to announce your faith or prove your stability. Authority becomes internal. You listen more carefully. You speak with restraint. You act with intention. People may not know why your presence feels steady, but they will sense that you are not easily shaken. This is what happens when direction replaces urgency. You stop borrowing emotional energy from situations that are temporary. You stop reacting to tone, pressure, or expectation. You remain anchored because your center was established before the day began. What once triggered you now informs you. What once drained you now passes through without staying. This silent authority is not distance, it is discernment. You stay engaged without becoming entangled. You care without carrying what is not yours. You move through the day with clarity because you are not negotiating your identity at every turn. Alignment has already answered the question of who leads. This is the fruit of beginning well, and it continues to grow the more consistently you return to that first moment of order. What comes next will bring this entire journey back to its origin, where each day truly begins. Every day eventually brings you back to this point. Not because time resets, but because leadership must be chosen again. What you practiced here is not about adding something new to your life. It is about removing what was never meant to lead it. Noise, urgency, fear, and habit lose their authority the moment you return to order. Beginning with God is not a spiritual performance, it is a reference point. When the day becomes unclear, you return to it. When emotions rise, you return to it. When pressure increases, you return to it. The beginning teaches you how to continue, and continuing with awareness teaches you how to finish with peace. This is how days change, quietly, intentionally, repeatedly, not through force, but through alignment. And each time you choose it, you strengthen the foundation beneath everything else. Carry this into tomorrow. Return to it again. And let each beginning remind you that you are not moving alone, not reacting blindly, not drifting without direction. God goes before you, and that is where everything truly starts. Let this be the simplest truth you carry forward. You do not need more information. You need remembrance. Each morning offers a narrow window where leadership is decided before momentum takes over. If you claim that moment, the rest of the day adjusts around it. If you miss it, you spend hours trying to recover what was lost in minutes. Returning to God at the beginning is not about discipline alone. It is about humility. The recognition that clarity does not come from speed, and strength does not come from control. When you start with God, you stop asking the day to give you meaning. You bring meaning into the day. This posture will keep maturing you, not louder, not harder, deeper, steadier, more aware of what matters and less reactive to what does not. And when challenges rise, as they always do, you will not feel abandoned or confused. You will recognize the path, even when it is narrow. Begin this way again. Let it become familiar. Let it become yours, and allow each day to unfold from order instead of urgency. That is how everything truly changes. What you have built here does not end with words. It continues through repetition. Each morning you choose order over impulse. You reinforce a way of living that resists chaos without fighting it. You stop needing perfect conditions to feel grounded. You carry grounding with you. This practice will meet resistance. Some mornings will feel rushed, others will feel heavy. Do not negotiate with those feelings. Return to alignment anyway. A brief pause is enough to restore leadership. A moment of awareness can redirect an entire day. Over time, this becomes instinct. You recognize when something is trying to lead you that should not. You reclaim your center quickly. You move with intention even when circumstances are unclear. This is not effort. It is formation. Keep beginning this way. Let order precede action. Let direction precede demand. And allow God to continue going before you, not as an idea, but as a daily decision that shapes everything that follows. What determines whether this remains a moment or becomes a way of living is integration. Alignment must move from the morning into the ordinary spaces of the day. How you listen, how you respond, how you pause before answering. This is where prayer proves its depth, not in isolation, but in application. As the day unfolds, return briefly to the posture you set earlier, not by repeating words, but by remembering order. When tension rises, you check who is leading. When decisions appear, you slow just enough to discern. These small returns prevent drift. They keep direction intact without effort. Over time, this integration reshapes your sense of time. You stop feeling chased by the day. You move within it with awareness. Tasks no longer define your worth. Outcomes no longer control your peace. You remain engaged without being consumed because leadership was decided before the first demand appeared. This is how prayer moves from an event to a framework. From something you do to something that shapes how you live. And when this becomes natural, you realize that the day no longer feels scattered. It feels held. As the day comes to a close, you begin to notice something subtle. You are not depleted in the same way. Not because less happened, but because less was wasted. Energy was not spent fighting imaginary threats or reacting without clarity. Direction conserved strength. Awareness protected focus. Ending the day well is the natural result of beginning it well. You reflect without regret. You recognize where you were guided, where you were corrected, where restraint mattered more than action. This reflection is not self-judgment, it is calibration. It prepares you to begin again with greater clarity. This steady finish teaches you trust. You stop forcing outcomes. You allow growth to be gradual and real. You rest without anxiety, because you know leadership was never abandoned. The same order that began the day carries you through its end. Hold this understanding. Tomorrow will offer the same doorway. Step through it again. Let God go before you, and allow each day, from beginning to end, to be shaped by direction instead of urgency. What remains after all of this is not a feeling, it is direction that endures beyond a single day. You begin to realize that life does not require constant correction when it begins from the right place. You stop asking every moment to make sense, because you trust the order that was set before movement began. This is how faith becomes steady rather than intense. You are no longer dependent on emotional confirmation to know you are aligned. You recognize alignment by the quality of your responses, the clarity of your decisions, the calm in your presence. God going before you becomes less of a thought and more of a reality you walk in. Each new day will still bring uncertainty. That does not change. What changes is how uncertainty speaks to you. It no longer commands, it informs. You listen without fear, because leadership was already established. You move forward without rushing, because direction is not lost. Let this be the quiet strength you carry. Not something you perform, but something you live. Begin again. Return again, and allow every day to unfold from the same place it was meant to begin. Carry this with you as a settled truth. A day does not need to be perfect to be purposeful. It needs direction. When God goes before you, you are not promised ease, but you are spared confusion. You are not protected from challenge, but you are anchored within it. This is the prayer that changes everything, not because it alters the world instantly, but because it orders you before the world begins to speak. You stop waking up to react. You wake up to respond with clarity, restraint, and faith. That difference reshapes how life unfolds, one day at a time. Return to this beginning again. Let it be quiet. Let it be intentional. Let it be real. And as you do, you will notice that life does not become lighter, but you become steadier, more aware, more grounded, more led. This is where the day should always start,